Who created religion? Now, for those of you who've been following this channel and for those of you who have subscribed, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Let's keep this going. So you know that I do not believe in religion. I believe in a brotherhood. And I also believe that God did not send his son into the world of mankind to establish religion. I do not believe that God established any religion on the earth. But God sent his son into the world of mankind to establish a brotherhood, not religion, not something called Christianity. I also believe that the name of the creator of the heavens and the earth is unknown to us for various reasons. Adam, the first man, did not utter a personal name for God. Before being dispatched into Egypt, Moses asked God, "What is your name? Because your people are going to ask me, who is he who sent you? What is his name?" God never gave Moses his name. And more importantly, God's only begotten son, the Messiah, the Son of God, the Christ, never used a personal name for God. It is simply not there. Jesus referred to his God as his God and his Father, but never by a personal name, and neither did his disciples or his chosen representatives, the apostles. It is not there. I challenge any Christian to show me where Jesus used a personal name for God. And you would think that in one place, he would have particularly revealed a personal name for God, and that would have been in what many of us know as the Lord's Prayer at Matthew chapter 6, beginning at verse 9, where Jesus said, "This is how you shall pray. Our Father in heaven." He didn't say our God's name in heaven. He taught our Father in heaven. Holy be your name, or holy be thy name. What did he mean by that? Holy be thy name. That God's name is so perfect and lofty and above any name that there is, because he is God. His name is holy. We are not holy. We are imperfect. So it is not for us to know God's perfect and holy name. Not yet, anyway. I believe that in future days, when we are restored to perfection, when we're fixed in his own due time, God will reveal his perfect and lofty name. But what we do know about the creator of the heavens and the earth is another type of name, namely a reputation. We know that God has the name or the reputation to do what he says he will do. When he sent Moses into Egypt, he told Moses to tell them, his people, that I am that I am. In other words, that I am the God who will do what he says he will do. If I say that I'm going to free you from the shackles of slavery in Egypt, it's going to happen. As surely as when I said in the beginning, let there be light, and there was light. So God has that type of name or reputation in that sense. He is a reliable God, a God that we can trust. Not the God that Christianity has created. That is a false God. And also the Christ that Christianity has created. That is a false Christ. God is nothing like a man, flesh and blood, and neither is his ascended son, Christ Jesus. He wasn't created a man. He was created an invisible, angelic creature, God's first creation. And God sent that first creation into the world of mankind, born through a woman to become a man. And when he died, he returned back to the place from where he came. And he resumed the position and the status that he had prior to him being dispatched out of heaven in the beginning. So at present, the one that the world knows as Christ Jesus, the Messiah, the Hamashiach, is not a flesh and blood man. Christianity loves to push that lie on the masses. And They take it even a step further with the lies. They make him in the likeness of one race among the human family. What is that? That sounds white supremacist to me. And Christians, white Christians, and I know some black Christians who become offended when you bring up that point. There is no way on God's perfect earth that I would ever accept that God is flesh and blood and his son is flesh and blood. I worship the invisible God and I follow the one who knows the way to him, and he is also invisible. Jesus taught at John chapter 18, verse 36, that his kingdom is no part of this world. Now think about that. If Jesus' kingdom is no part of this world, what can be raised up out of this world that is his? Nothing. The governments, the religions, the military-industrial complex, the economic and financial empires, all of it, all the countries, all the kingdoms, those things do not belong to Jesus. In fact, the devil, in Matthew chapter 4, offered Jesus all of the kingdoms of the world and the things in them, their splendor or glory, if he will worship him. Jesus never checked Satan's hand. Why? Because Jesus knew full well that the kingdoms of the world and their glory or splendor or the things within them belong to Satan. The Apostle Paul tells us at 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 4, that Satan the devil is the god of this world. So all the religions, everything was raised up out of a world that Jesus said that his kingdom is no part of. That is why we are told not to become like the world, not to think like the world, do not become a member of the world, so to speak. We are to member ourselves not to religion, but to Christ himself, a person. Yet Satan the devil has established all of these religions, and he has duped people. He's social engineered people into joining or membering themselves with religion. Jesus says, join yourselves to me, follow me, become my disciples. Do not follow religion. God did not send us religion. God did not send us a book. God sent us his son. And I am 100% convinced that this is where the world has stumbled. The masses believe that they must join a religion, whether it's Christianity, Islam, Judaism, or whatever, in order to get to where God is, as if putting in brownie points with God. And each of them has assigned a unique name to God, a name of their choosing. Oh no, it is not that God names us. We're giving God, that is the creator of the heavens and the earth, a name. We're doing that. How arrogant is this? It's logical and it makes sense. If Jesus taught that his kingdom is no part of this world, what can be grown out of this world that is his? Christianity alone is the wealthiest religious system on the earth. It holds more than 55% of the world's wealth and resources. So how can Christians claim that they themselves are being persecuted when they are folded into the fabric of this world, a world that Jesus said that his kingdom is no part of? It seems to me that Christianity has made itself a part of the world. It owns more than 55% of the wealth and resources in the world and still growing? Come on now. And it is also logical that when Satan offered Jesus all the kingdoms in the world, he also offered those who call themselves Christians something very similar, a religious system. And if you join that, I'll make you wealthy. I'll make you rich. Look at all of these TV evangelizers, and even those who are not TV evangelizers. Their primary hook and goal is money. Most of them teach this tithing teaching, something Jesus never taught. The tithing requirement was a part of the law covenant given to an ancient people, ancient Israel. What is a covenant? A covenant is an agreement between two people, and in between those two people or entities is a mediator. That agreement long ago, the law covenant, was made between God and ancient Israel, and Moses was the mediator. There was no such thing as Christianity back then. Christ had not come on the scene yet. So why are these Christian ministers today teaching tithing as a requirement? They're going to pick one thing out of the more than 600 laws within that covenant because it involves money. They're scammers. They love money. And you, my friends, many of you are the pawns. They're going to put on a show for you, get you emotionally riled up to where you're almost in a stupor, spiritually and mentally drunk, drugged up in a sense. And once they get you in that state, then they go in for the hard sell. They go for the wallet and the credit cards. And that is how Christianity has amassed billions, trillions, and amassed all the wealth that is within it. And I submit to you another reason why God did not establish religion, and neither did his son. Because we live in a world that is saturated with religion. Yet it is a very dangerous place to live. And you would think that would not be so. So that fact alone helps us to appreciate what religion really is, and that it is not sourced from God. It is of another source. So, did God create religion? Did God authorize the establishment of religion? Did his son authorize the establishment of religion? No. I will never allow myself to be taken captive by any religion. I want to remain free the way God created me. When God created the first man, God did not create him and place him into some religious system. Adam was free. Adam knew his God. When you join any religion, you become alienated from God. You're worshiping something else. You think you're worshiping the true God, but you're not. Becoming a member of any religion places a blindfold on you, and you are duped to believe that you're worshiping God. You're worshiping someone who has transformed himself into an angel of light. He presents himself as a light bearer, an angel of light, for several reasons. Number one, to mislead you away from the worship of the invisible God, and to direct you to worshiping him through the religions that he has set up on the earth. That is how Satan gets his worship. He doesn't get his worship directly. He gets his worship through the things that he's established. Think about this. When he offered Jesus all the kingdoms in the world, why was that? Because it would be through those kingdoms that he would get his worship. Personally, I think it is unwise to believe that there is no creator. Look around us. Look at ourselves. Look at how wonderfully made we are. But I also believe that it is unwise to join any religion on the earth. Remember yourself to the one that God commanded us to listen to, his son, Christ Jesus.